My name is Marie, and I use they, he pronouns, and I'm the owner of Black Sheep Salon in Long Beach, California. Yeah, so growing up, I was always the kitchen hairdresser doing punk hair, was doing my own hair. I didn't have very many comfortable salon experiences. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so it was always my mom doing my hair, who is not a hairdresser, or my sister doing my hair, who is now a rocket scientist and not a hairdresser. Tired of having my family do my own hair, and I started taking things into my own hands, box dyeing my own hair at a young age, going to Sally Beauty and just being on LiveJournal and teaching myself how to do hair. Eventually, I started doing my own hair and started doing friends' hair, family's hair, and it was always sort of a passion for me. At the time in school, I wanted to become a journalist, and I really loved politics, and so I wanted to write political entries. And my grades just weren't backing that. I had undiagnosed learning disabilities, dyslexia, ADHD, autism, all kinds of things. And I was just barely getting by in school, just barely passing. So when it came time to decide to go to college or not, I wasn't sure. My sister recommended that I went to beauty school, and so she helped me look into beauty college in Long Beach. I moved to Long Beach because I was in a very conservative town in Marietta. There was not a lot of queer people, and my sister was going to college at Cal State Long Beach, and so she brought me to Long Beach in 2009. I enrolled in beauty school that year and have been doing hair ever since. So I opened up Black Sheep Salon in 2021. I had been taking training to learn how to work with textured hair, and I realized quickly how segregated salons had always been and how unsafe it was to integrate salons and bringing in Black folks into a white salon, and what that experience was like for a lot of my Black clients. And it was not very comfortable, and it wasn't necessarily a safe space. And so I felt the need to find something different, and I spent a lot of time thinking about who was always excluded from salon spaces. The top person that is usually excluded is going to be Black women with tight curls, followed by a lot of disabled people. Queer and trans people oftentimes are leaving salons with very negative experiences, getting not affirming haircuts, and having people assume their gender. So I spent a lot of time thinking about who is really being left out of this and who deserves a quality experience. So I began work on opening Black Sheep Salon. And that process took me about 8 months to open. I think I looked for spaces. It was very hard to find an ADA compliant and accessible space. I looked at about maybe 15 spaces or so, and none of which had an accessible restroom, accessible entrance, things like that. And I really wanted to think about making a space that literally anybody could come to. Every single person would be able to get a service here, and that we would all be qualified to do that, and the space would be accessible enough for that. I would say since 2021, the biggest transformation is just as we've been getting busier, we've been able to give back to the community more. When we first opened, our prices were on the higher end, and we didn't have as many accessible services just because our overhead was so high to get going. We weren't able to pour back into the community as much as we do now when we first opened. So I'd say since then, we've been able to just give back more. We've gotten a couple grants, and that has been able to give us services to so many demographics of people. We've done free services for foster and adoptive Black youth. We've done makeup classes for gender affirming makeup for trans women for free. We have done Disability Pride every year where we give free haircuts to disabled people. I could go on and talk about some of the community care we've been able to do, but the community care was not as abundant when we first started because we didn't have the resources for that. So just having everybody come in and support us over the last 4 years has really helped us be able to give back to our community, which has been one of our biggest values that we try to hold on to. So that has kind of been how it's grown. I wouldn't say it's transformed into anything different than when we first opened, but it's grown and it's becoming more abundant, which is beautiful. I would say come in with an open mind. Part of the most challenging part about integration with salons is we service so many different demographics of people, and we don't focus just on one thing. We get some people who it's a curly hair salon only, and then they don't necessarily have the experience to work with queer and trans people. You get a queer salon, but they may not have the experience to work with a Black clientele. You can get, somebody might have come in who is going to be a 75-year-old woman who wears her hair natural, who's a Black woman, who maybe has never met a trans person before. doesn't understand pronouns, doesn't know, versus the person sitting right next to that person could be, a transgender woman that's 20 years old. So it's such a beautiful space to see so many different generations of people. There's children in here, there are elders in here, everybody, but just coming in with a mutual level of respect is the main thing. We hope that you are politically aligned with us, as my politics are just something I'm so passionate about. I try to be pretty outspoken about them so that way the people that are coming in are aligned with our values. But every once in a while, we have to have learning conversations in the room with integration, and that is always like an awakening and a little bit of a challenge, but I hope that we've given people space to grow and help to give them information to think about things a little bit differently. So I would say the main thing is just be open-minded and know that the person next to you might be having a very different experience than you've ever experienced, and that you just respect that. I would say my biggest advice for other entrepreneurs and other people that are looking to start a business is you need a very clear mission statement. It needs to be very, very, very clear. I see so many people that want to open up their own salon or their own business because they're frustrated working for other people, but the best things come within community, and opening something all by yourself and refusing to accept help or do this with other people usually is not going to lead you to a lot of success. The success that I've seen is usually coming from a lot of people pouring into one space or one idea. So if you don't have a clear mission statement and you open out of spite or out of frustration, you can't do it alone. You definitely can't do it alone, and you need a very clear vision. You need to make sure that the vision is very loud and that you are inviting people that align with that vision. If you have not built that demographic of people into your mission statement and you haven't shown that you care about them viscerally and you haven't actually put in the effort to make them a part of your idea, you can't just invite them as an afterthought and expect that they're going to be excited and come on board with you. So be very clear in your mission statement. Who is this for? Why are we doing this? What are we doing? And be very, very clear about that, and you will attract the like-minded people. So be very, very clear about what you want and invite other people to help you on that mission. Like I have made some of my best friends just through this mission, and I opened Black Sheep just kind of on a whim, and I didn't have anybody with me at that time to help me open because I wasn't working with people that were aligned with me at that time. And so I have made so many amazing friends, acquaintances, community connections, things like that through opening. So be welcoming to help and outside influence. Be open to feedback and know that you will find your people if you're very clear about that.